David Corey Weber Chappelle is an American stand-up comedian and actor. He is known for his satirical comedy sketch series Chappelle Show 2003-2006. The series ran until Chappelle quit the show in the middle of production of the third season. After leaving the show, Chappelle returned to performing stand-up comedy across the U.S. By 2006, Chappelle was called the comic genius of America by Esquire and in 2013 the best by a Billboard writer. In 2017, Rolling Stone ranked him No. 9 in their 50 best stand-up comics of all time. Chappelle has appeared in several films, including Robin Hood, Men in Tights 1993, The Nutty Professor 1996, Con Air 1997, You've Got Mail 1998, Blue Streak 1999, Undercover Brother 2002, Chirac 2015, and A Star is Born 2018. His first lead role was in the 1998 comedy film Half-Baked, which he co-wrote. Chappelle also starred in the ABC comedy series Buddies 1996. In 2016, he signed a $20 million per release comedy special deal with Netflix and released 6 stand-up specials under the deal. He has received numerous accolades, including 5 Emmy Awards and 3 Grammy Awards as well as the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor. Chappelle received his first Emmy in 2017 for his guest appearance on Saturday Night Live. In 2018, he received a Grammy Award for his Netflix-produced comedy album The Age of Spin Deep in the Heart of Texas. Equanimity, another Netflix special featuring Chappelle, was nominated in 2018 for 3 Emmys and received the award for Outstanding Variety Special Pre-Recorded. In 2019, Chappelle was selected to receive the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor, which is presented by the Kennedy Center as America's highest comedy honor. In 2020, Sticks Stones earned Chappelle his 3rd consecutive Grammy Award for Best Comedy Album. David Corey Weber Chappelle was born on August 24, 1973, in Washington, D.C. His father, William David Chappelle Roman III, was a professor of vocal performance and the dean of students at Antioch College in Yellow Springs, Ohio. His mother, Yvonne Reed, formerly Chappelle, worked for Congolese Prime Minister Patrice Lumumba, is a Unitarian Universalist minister and worked as a professor and university administrator at several institutions including Wright State University and Prince George's Community College. Chappelle has a stepmother and a stepbrother. Chappelle grew up in Silver Spring, Maryland and attended Woodland Elementary School. His parents were politically active, and family house visitors included Pete Seeger and Johnny Hartman. Hartman predicted Chappelle would be a comedian, and around this time, Chappelle's comic inspiration came from Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor. After his parents separated, Chappelle stayed in Washington with his mother while spending summers with his father in Ohio. In high school, he worked as an usher in Ford's Theater. In 1991, he graduated from Washington's Duke Ellington School of the Arts, where he studied theater arts. In his interview with Inside the Actors Studio host James Lipton, he said that his biggest influences in comedy are Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, Mort Sahl, Chris Rock, Paul Mooney, and Mel Blanc. When asked about his earliest influence in comedy, Chappelle said, "You know who was a big influence on me that is really weird is Bugs Bunny. That's just weird. If you watch a lot of the stuff I do, you can almost see the influence in it, because these animators would animate these performances that were off the hook, and the guy that did the voices was Mel Blanc. This guy was like some kind of savant or genius or something. But they had some kind of real big comedic influence on me, like, I like those cartoons. I think that was my first real big comedy influence, was a rabbit." When asked about the biggest influence on him in comedy, Chappelle spoke of Richard Pryor. "What a precedent he set, not just as a comic, but as a dude. The fact that someone was able to open themselves wide open like that. It's so hard to talk in front of people or to open yourself up to your closest friends. But to open yourself up for everybody. I freebase, I beat my women, I shot my car. And nobody's mad at Richard for that. They understand. Somehow they just understand. And when I was going through this thing this year, that is the example I would think to myself that gave me the courage to just go back on the stage." Chappelle's company, Iron Table Holdings, purchased a Yellow Springs fire station and plans to open a comedy club. Chappelle retrofitted a Yellow Springs mechanics garage into a clubhouse, dubbed The Shack, for podcasting. Personal life: Chappelle married Elaine Mendoza Earth in 2001. The couple have two sons, Suleiman and Ibrahim, and one daughter, Sana, and live on a 65-acre, 26-hectare farm near Yellow Springs, Ohio. Chappelle also owns several houses in Xenia, Ohio. He told Yellow Springs residents in September 2006, "Turns out you don't need $50 million to live around these parts, just a nice smile and a kind way about you. You guys are the best neighbors ever. That's why I came back and that's why I'm staying." Chappelle converted to Islam in 1991. He told Time magazine in May 2005, "I don't normally talk about my religion publicly because I don't want people to associate me and my flaws with this beautiful thing, and I believe it is beautiful if you learn it the right way." Chappelle appears in a video explaining the religious history of the Well of Zamzam in Mecca. His great-grandfather Bishop William D. Chappelle, born into slavery in 1857, served as a president of Allen University and led a delegation of African Americans who met President Woodrow Wilson at the White House. His great-great-grandfather Robert J. Palmer was a member of the South Carolina legislature, then majority black, during Reconstruction. His granduncle W. D. Chappelle Jr. was a physician and surgeon who opened the People's Infirmary around 1915, a small hospital and surgery practice in Columbia, South Carolina, during a time when segregation prevented many African Americans from having access to health care. Philanthropy: in 2004, he donated his time to Seeds of Peace International Camp, a camp located in Ottisfield, Maine, which brings together young leaders from communities in conflict. Chappelle supports his high school, Duke Ellington School of the Arts. He has financially contributed to the school over the years, visited and provided a commencement speech. During his acceptance speech at the 2017 Emmy Awards, Chappelle gave a shout-out to D.C. public schools. In November 2021, the school was set to rename their auditorium in Chappelle's honor. Following controversy in response to jokes made in The Closer, the renaming ceremony has been delayed until April 2022. Instead, Chappelle made an unannounced stop at the school to host a school assembly and Q session, asking only students who had an issue with Chappelle to come forward to ask questions. Following the assembly, the school decided to go forward with renaming the auditorium, respecting the wishes of school co-founder Peggy Cooper Caffritz. Politics: Chappelle endorsed Andrew Yang in the 2020 United States presidential election. In December 2021, Chappelle told the Yellow Springs, Ohio Village Council that he would cancel his planned business investments, including his restaurant and comedy club, if it approved a zoning change to allow a multifamily affordable housing project. The affordable housing had been negotiated between the village and the developer as a condition of approval for its plan to build 143 single-unit homes. On February 7, 2022, he again spoke up against the zoning change at the council meeting held to vote on the approval, calling the council clowns and reminding them that his business was worth $65 million a year. The council failed to approve the change, deadlocking at 2-2 with one recusal. Chappelle has received many awards and nominations for his work in stand-up and television, including 3 consecutive Grammy Awards for Best Comedy Album. He has also received 5 Primetime Emmy Awards and 1 Screen Actors Guild Award nomination along with the ensemble of A Star Is Born. In 2017, Columbia, South Carolina Mayor Stephen Benjamin declared February 3 Dave Chappelle Day when Chappelle spoke at the Chappelle Auditorium at Allen University, a building named after his great-grandfather, Bishop William David Chappelle, who worked at the university. In 2019, Chappelle was awarded the prestigious Mark Twain Prize for American Humor at the John F. Kennedy Center for Performing Arts. Those to honor Chappelle at the event included Jon Stewart, Bradley Cooper, Aziz Ansari, Sarah Silverman, Chris Tucker, Frederick Yonnet, and Lorne Michaels. The awards ceremony was turned into a television special and released on Netflix and received a Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Variety Special Pre-Recorded nomination. His work, as well as that of Margaret Cho, was also the subject of a book by Canadian dramaturg Elizabeth Ludwig, American Stand-Up and Sketch Comedy, that was published at the end of 2010.